Hello, beautiful ladies. Paola Rodriguez here. I am super excited today because I have an amazing guest. This woman I met, I believe, like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and she is a wonderful, wonderful human being. I have created this connection with her that I cannot even describe with words. It's really something very profound. And I have had the privilege of enjoying one of her sessions, one of her super powerful sessions. And I can tell you that I am so excited. I was just sharing with her before we started recording that I went and told my husband about it. I was so fired up about it. And I want to share that with you here. So I'm going to have her, the amazing Becky Hendrickson, to share with all of you what she is up to in the world, what she is spreading with women around the world and men. So she has a wonderful gift in her heart, and she is not keeping it to herself. She is making sure that many and many, many people around the world experience this. So I want to introduce you to her, and I want her to tell all of you who she is, what she's up to, and why I am so excited about what she does, and why I believe it is so important that all of you check her out and check out what she is creating and what her gift is. So I'm gonna give it to you, Becky. Welcome, and tell us, share with the ladies what you're up to. Tell us about your work. Tell us about, I'm not going to even say it's your work, it's your gift, because it is a beautiful gift that you have. So
Thank you so much, Paola. Thank you for this opportunity. Everything you said is just like right on point with where I am in my life today. I've been doing this for about 17 years. I've been doing energy healing, and I'm certified in several modalities, but there came a point where energy is telling me, you've got enough tools. Allow my own personal unique gifts to surface. And even though I was a little shy about it at the beginning, I decided to just allow it. And just that simple allowing helped so many more gifts come to surface. And I've spent all these years doing workshops and one-on-one private sessions with people. And as I've done that and my gifts have grown and more have come on the scene, somebody say, well, are you clairvoyant? Are you clairaudient? And I just, at this point, I say, I have all the clairs, And something that I really love doing is ancestral. I feel that I've been gifted with that ability to do ancestral healing. It is profound, it is deep, it is spiritual, it is sacred. And that is a really special work that I feel I've been called to do. And so in the last several years, I've been feeling a call to bring this healing to a larger stage. And I'm thinking, well, how do I do that? Because that's what I kept hearing, get it out there. The world needs this. And again, I allowed myself to be the vessel for this. I went to a retreat in Costa Rica, hosted by Tara Maxwell, and it was life-changing for me. At the end of it, I knew exactly, there was no doubt. I heard again, and I felt very confident in, I'm going to be hosting retreats. And I did. And I was able to host one in Costa Rica. And the people that came to that retreat, I had certain ideas about what I wanted to present, what I wanted them to experience. Mm-hmm. And it went so far beyond my expectations. And that taught me something really important, that the world, the energy of people in general, we are all one, we are all connected, we are all gifted. And so let's share your individual gifts, whatever you feel called to do, step into it, because there are people on this earth who need your kind of healing, who need what you have to offer. And so there are two things that I always make sure happens at the retreats that I host. One is that people come and receive their own deep healing, whether you are an energy healer or not, whether you've been doing it for a week or 20 years. We're going to get down to some deep healing, and it is such a beautiful thing. And then the expansion of your gifts. Everyone has them. And if you are interested, you can come and watch others. It's not likely that you're going to stand by and just watch, because the idea of expanding your own gifts, taking a look at them and allowing them to come forth.
Mhm.
And which is what happened in Costa Rica. And I stood back and watched these beautiful people go further than I ever would have imagined in their healing and in using their own gifts to heal other people and themselves.
Mhm.
So those are the two things that I focus on in my workshops, in my retreats, is empowerment. And I have to say that 3 of the people that were at that retreat, actually 4, who had never been to a retreat before, and they came to my retreat. And since then, and it was in March of 20, so that when we left the retreat, stepped back into the States, into shutdown.
Mhm.
And yet those people went forward in such a huge way. Nothing was stopping them, nothing. And in these couple of years, they have been out serving, establishing their own healing businesses, bringing things that they learned at the retreat
Mhm.
into their own personal lives and businesses, and they just exploded on the scene, bringing their style of healing to others. I get really choked up thinking about it,
Yeah.
because that's exactly it. Empowering others, helping them to tap into their own powerful energy. We all have it. Sometimes we need to get a little healing done first, so
Mhm.
that you get some things out of the way, so that you can see and feel how powerful you are, how divine you are, and how easily it is to access that divine source in yourself
Yeah.
and take that into the world to heal yourself, your loved ones. And if that's all you do, that's great. That's perfect. But if you feel a call to take it out to others, you've got all the support in the world to do that. And I'm talking about ancestors, I'm talking about the universe, and I'm talking about me and the tribe that you step into when you go into energy healing.
Yeah.
Did I cover enough
Yes.
there?
So many things are coming up for me. I had the next
Okay.
question, and then all of a sudden, all of this opened up. So one of the things is you mentioned gifts, and so, like, we know, like, intellectually, we know that we have gifts, but yet oftentimes we have the limiting belief of, like, do I really have something special? And what is it? Like, how do I extract that gem, that one thing that I know that only I, like, this is me, only I have, nobody else has. So what I'm hearing from your share is you have that powerful tool to extract that gift and put it in front of them, and combine it with empowerment of, like, okay, now take it and go and create what you've been called to create in the world. So it's really a very powerful way of reminding you of how amazing and how divine you are. And I love that you bring the whole, like, support from the divine, because this is not just you all alone figuring it out on your own. It's, you've got this gift and we've got your back. That's how I see it. And I'm also hearing that it is how much power we've been given to heal others, to heal ourselves, and to keep ourselves moving forward and fulfill the purpose, whatever purpose it is that we've been given. And so my next question was, how is healing an act of love? Like, how would you describe that being an act of love, whether for you or for others?
Well, for me, people who know me today would not recognize me for the person that I was even 20 years ago. Okay. Because you're able to feel and know who you really are when you start feeling that power. And how it is an act of love is, especially when I'm working with other people, because, even just on a one-on-one session and people come and it's very physical. I can see gray lines, sad face, kind of sloop shoulders. And the minute we start clearing things away, trauma, all kinds of things, doubts, things that we've inherited from ancestors. And at the end of a session, to see a sparkle in their eye, pink cheeks and lips, and their countenance is completely different. And they're going, oh, and there's a feeling of freedom, a feeling of release, and a feeling that they can actually go do things in the world, and that they are important, that they are special, that they are unique. And it's just a beginning. And I like to show this with my hands, if you can see them, because when you go to school is important. We have to learn. And the learning is just like, you kind of keep adding. But when you get into this spiritual plane, when you get into this energetic plane and you put your feet on that path, the learning is like this. It's exponential and it's powerful and it's good. Did I properly answer your question, Paola?
Yeah.
Oh, love. How does it show love? Because you're teaching people that they can love themselves, that they are worth all their own love and attention, that they are worth receiving love, that it is safe not only to receive love, but to give love. Those are such important things. And when you get to this place, and then fear of others, fear of circumstances, they start to dissolve. When love is there in front of you and you can feel that love, and you are in this energy of love and forgiveness of others, forgiveness of yourself, miracles happen. They come big, they come often, and your life then is just a life of living miracles. And it all starts from self-love. And that's the most important thing. And then you feel your power, and it's not like overpowering other people. The power you feel is, I am divine, I am love, I can forgive, I am safe. All of those things are right there. So that is how it helps.
That is so important, to feel safe, because oftentimes we don't even realize that we reject what we truly desire just because we don't feel safe having it, or we don't feel safe in this like sense of abundance, in this sense of and I was sharing with you earlier before we started recording, like everything that's going on in my life right now, it's actually abundance. It's something that I was looking forward to, that I desired, and now all of a sudden it's like right here in front of me. And then I'm facing all these things of like, am I really ready for this? Do I feel safe? What is it exactly that's coming up for me? And I'm sure it's past trauma that hasn't been healed yet, or there's things that I get to look at. And we all have that. We all have different everyone. So it's beautiful to have somebody like you to point you in that direction of let us look into this, and let's see what we can work through this, and have this clearing all the time. And I experienced that in that session with you. It was really powerful, very, very powerful.
On the point of feeling safe during a session, the way I do it, you never have to relive or retell any trauma. And we find it easily. It's easily dissolved and removed. And also other good things are taking its place. So if people worry about that, I like to put them at ease about that. If you want to talk about things, you can. You never have to. So
yeah, it feels safe. It feels very loving.
Yes.
Very releasing. Like what you're saying about the experience of freedom, that's exactly it. That's exactly, the experience of, it's okay to let it go. I don't have to carry this with me to my future or to my even present moment. So yeah. And so what are some of the things that you notice in people after they have experienced a session with you or retreat with you or have been working with you? Like, what are some of the things, some of the highlights that you would say, this is what happens when people go and do this work, like in their life or their careers or their business, or, and I know you touched upon it a little bit, but I want the women to see what's possible for them when they lean into doing this work of love, because it is ultimately love.
Yes, the expansion of your soul, the expansion of your gifts, that's some of the main things. And then your health, better health. And when you're feeling healthy, you feel like you can really get out there and do a lot more. And that doesn't drag you down. I think the feeling of self-worth, that you are worthy of abundance, that you are worthy of all of God's greatest blessings, the universe's greatest blessing, they're yours. And you can be that, you can have that. And it's not just a dream, you know, it can be very, very real. How life, and yes, I talked about the people at the retreat who went on from there, and everyone has continued to grow. As I have followed the people that were at that one retreat in Costa Rica, they've all developed beautiful things. I like to show people their unique qualities, knowing that they are unique, and to just kind of coach them to develop that uniqueness. Okay. I'm trying to think what was the other part of the question.
Yeah, so some of the, like, I think you answered in the expansion of the gifts. So
yes.
So for example, a person that has been doubting themselves, let's say they have a business or they've been doing something for a living, and there has been like a self-doubt, or maybe like has held them back to play small because maybe there's sense of, can I really do this? Or it can turn into like imposter syndrome. So what I'm hearing you say is that after they're out the gate, they're like, this is me, this is my gift, and I am gonna just play big, full out, and embrace it, like owning.
Well, I'm a perfect example of that myself. You know, being able to, there was a time in my life where I couldn't stand up in front of a crowd of children and talk to them. And now, and shortly after I started into energy healing for myself, I don't care if there were 300, 1,000 people out there, I could stand up and talk to them. The passion is real. You can be your authentic self, and you're not worried what are people going to think about me, because I am who I am. Like I said, I'm a very different person. And then also I'm thinking of a young man that I was working with, and he heard that I was a healer. He had an appointment. We sat down. The moment we sat down, and energy told me something about him, and I said, "Are you a healer?" And he looked down and he looked shyly, and he goes, "Yeah," like that. And immediately I knew that all of his life he had been hiding that, and he had been, because he had the gift of seeing angels. He had the gift of healing in his hands. He had so many beautiful healing gifts. And I simply said, after he said yes, I said, it is time for you to play big in the world. It is time for you to develop your gifts. And we did a lot of clearing, because he had grown up with people around him who were uncomfortable with that, with his gifts. And he felt like he had to hide them. And so, and I've seen him go and now create his own healing business. And he's so happy. And once those floodgates are open, the flow is continuous, and it's big, and it's exciting. So that is one example. And there was another person who, when I first met him, I saw a light go, a bright light down the center from the top of his head down to his feet. And I'm going, oh my goodness, are you a healer? Because that's what energy told me that was. And so, and he goes, and he said, well, I'm a nurse in the military. And I said, oh, and then I saw a big a black ball under his rib here, a ball of energy, but it was black.
Mhm.
And this was the first, that I had seen of something like that, but I knew what it was. And I said, oh, so were you ever overseas? Oh yeah, I was in Iraq, but I don't have any trauma for that. I don't have PTSD. I don't have this or that. And I'm going, uh-huh. And I just let him talk. He says, yeah, I got to put people back together and heal them when they had come in, and we'd go to the villages and we would give shots and food and this and that to the little children. And then he stopped. He goes, there was this one time. Oh, and by the way, his ribs, I asked him if anything hurt on his body, and he said his ribs were hurting all the time and they never stopped. And so he said there was this one time, I guess there had been an explosion, a bomb going off in the village. And unfortunately, he was one of the ones who had to go and get the little bodies and put them in bags and that sort of thing. And when he spoke those words, then it just flooded. He just cried and cried and cried and cried and cried.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, he tried to stop it because he's a big man and he's not going to let it go, right? But I said, don't you do that. You've been holding that for a really long time, which was the black ball under his heart, which was making his ribs physically hurt.
Yes.
And that's the other thing, emotions, stuck emotions, whether you shoved them down or you were made to shove them down at any time in your life, unless they're addressed, they're going to cause problems, physical ailments. Okay. So the physical ailment goes away. We get to the emotional part of it. But the end of the story is he was able to release that. We talked a little bit. And then I said, how are your ribs feeling? And he kept looking, kept trying to feel the pain, and the pain was completely gone. So it is life-changing, and it takes literally minutes, to say, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to love myself. I'm going to allow this stuff to be released. Allow yourself to be this much vulnerable, not even a lot, enough to say, yes, I want healing. Yes, I want to grow. Yes, I am hearing something. Yes, I'm feeling drawn. Something, there's something out there. I don't even know how to name it, but something is calling me, something I'm being drawn to.
Yeah.
And you say, yes, I want to find it. Yes, I want to heal. Yes, I'm ready to go out into the world.
Yeah.
And that's the other big thing, because so many people get cut down as little children with some serious trauma, and it kind of makes them feel like they're not worthy of anything. When that stuff is healed, then they can be free to go out and live their life purpose.
Yeah.
Free of all of that. It just clears the way.
It is so powerful, and it's a beautiful way of saying to others, I care so much about you that I take the time to love myself. Because self-love sometimes is confused with like, oh, it's just self-centered and self-consumed and you don't care about anybody else. And it's like, I'm just here in my little bubble. And I always say that love is responsibility. It's you taking care of you so that you can pour out into others, so that you can, bring your gifts. And as healers, for example, imagine you being stuck in that story, in that trauma, and that I'm just going to hide my gifts. How many people are being affected because of that, or they're not receiving a blessing because of that? And so this work, it is really important. And I see it as an act of love and responsibility for you, whether you create a business out of it or not. Like it's completely aside from the subject, but it really boils down to how much you matter and how much you get to tell yourself that and move forward and say, you know what, I'm going to do the work. Maybe it's hard, maybe it takes tears, and maybe not, but why not go there? So
and I'd like to speak to that.
Yeah.
But even if you only do it for yourself, what happens is, without all of that heavy stuff, that heavy energy, your vibration is higher. It's just simply higher. And you allow that to be, you feel it, others feel it, others are drawn to it, and it kind of makes them want to be at that higher vibration with you. All you have to do is be. be who you are, others feel that is a blessing to others. Others can feel that and thinking, ooh, I want that too.
Yes.
Or you're happy to be around, and things that happen organically, just very naturally.
Yeah.
You know, that you are able to just look at a stranger and then evoke a smile from them simply because you have raised your vibration by loving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. Absolutely. Like I know when I am in my being, and I know when I am denying myself from that being and going into doing mode, into the, I gotta prove that this, prove my worth, or prove that, I'm worthy of taking up space on planet Earth, and rather than really being in that vibration of love, and that vibration of abundance, of expansion, of just pure being. It's really beautiful. And something that I experienced with you in one of your sessions was, it was like a sense of confirmation of something that I have already like felt. But it was like, yes, it all came to place. Like it was this beautiful, it's a beautiful gift. I would say it is a beautiful gift to experience this. Now, I want to extract from you a couple of tools or a couple of tips, things that we can use for the women that are watching this, things that we can use maybe on a daily basis or something to go down that path of self-healing, or down the path of, the baby steps to heal, to take care of ourselves, to start loving ourselves in this very deep level, at this very deep level.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have a book list that I like to give people. And the very first one I ever started with was called, by Carol Tuttle, Remembering Wholeness. We are perfect. Okay. We come perfect. We stay perfect. Life happens. Remember that you are divine. Remembering Wholeness is, and it's by Carol Tuttle. And that and you can branch out from there. But also, something that gets you going first thing every morning, if you want. And I love Donna Eden. I have met her on occasion, bright, happy person, but she has a morning wake up where she takes you through, she calls them the 4 thumps, and you get your immune system fired up, and you get some cross going, and your brain is going. And it's just, she shows you how to tap on certain meridian points, and you do Donna Eden morning wake up on YouTube. You can get so much from her on YouTube anyway for free, and learn that wake up. And I'm telling you, within 2 or 3 minutes, you feel like you've had, I don't drink coffee, but a couple cups of coffee. You are so awake naturally and ready to take on the day. And it's also, not only is it a wake up, getting all your energy systems going in running, but getting that immune system up and powerful as well. And just feeling like you can take on the world. And it takes 5 minutes to do that on a daily when you first wake up. Teach it to your children before they go to school. 5 minutes, and get them ready for school, woke up for school yourself, for whatever you need to do for the day. I promise. That is a promise I can give people, that it absolutely works. And that we're actually going to be teaching that at the retreat that I'm having in April. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But also emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping, people call it tapping, on certain meridian points. You have a headache, you go, headache. You just simply acknowledge it. And you have these tapping points, very easy to learn. We're teaching that as well. I teach that to people personally. I teach it most definitely at the retreat, where you can do this. It's simple, it's quick, it's easy. Your body is so responsive to the thoughts and intentions that you give it. Or you can, oh boy, I need to forgive somebody. You say forgive. You can just think that person's name, whatever, forgiveness. Okay, But you know what happens then? Then all of a sudden that dissolves and you feel love. Oh, I love that person. I love myself. I am grateful. It goes on and on and on. That lifts your spirits. That is a daily, that is another 5-minute thing, routine that is so easily learned. And it's healthy. It's self-affirming. It's like getting rid of the junk, waking up the body, and just oh my goodness, just being happy.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. Those
Yeah.
2 things right there alone will just set your day right at the very beginning of the day.
Yeah. So it's a form of self-care that doesn't
Oh,
necessarily cost you a ton of money or
it costs nothing.
time or too much time or anything. And the return of your investment of those 5 minutes is immense.
Yeah.
Because it really ripples out to whatever it is that you're creating in the world, whatever it is that you're up to. So I love it.
Children love it, learning it.
Yeah.
It's quick, it's easy, and it's a fun thing to do with mom, dad. You know, it's just fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. So I'm going to check it out myself and teach it to my children. So thank you for that. Now, you told me about the retreat, and you want to share with them. Tell them what it is, when it is taking place, and all the details.
Are you ready to travel? Okay. and get out of the cold, all of it. Right now, so many people are wanting to travel. And I have such good news about Hawaii. This retreat is taking place on the island of Maui, April 24th through the 30th. So it's the very last week of April. And it was supposed to be last October, things were really tight because of COVID. And I thought, okay, we're going to have to change this up. We did. And I knew that it was going to stick because I felt it's going, things are going to loosen up. In fact, even it is right now, as of March 25th, you don't even need to get the COVID test done. You get on your plane, you go to Maui. You don't need the vaccinations. You don't need the nose thing. We don't need to be wearing masks in large group settings. They have opened up the island, and so you can feel really free. If you want to wear a mask, fine. If you want to do the vaccines, wonderful. If you want a COVID test, do it. It's just simply not required. No judgments, no criticisms. If you are meant to be there, you will know it when you read about it, okay? Now, we are going to have there so many activities. We are wanting to connect with the really powerful earth energy of Maui. And we're doing a lot of things there, besides having a really fun beach day with a picnic and going to waterfalls and doing the volcanic clay treatments and those sorts of things. You'll have an opportunity if you want to volunteer at a tarot field. That is actually a spiritual earth connecting experience. I've done it before, where you're just in there and you could be up to your knees in mud, and it's just like, oh, this feels so good. I'm pulling up so much energy. And you're also helping the earth and helping the tarot farm and all of these sorts of things. We're going to have fire ceremony. We're going to have special ancient dancers there and music. We're going to have a sound bath healing. There's intuitive massage. I could go on. There's a lot happening. It's all inclusive. From the time we pick you up at the airport and you get to just look at the scenery, as you go 45-minute drive to an exquisite, it's Hale Akua, HaleAkua. If you want to look it up, anybody, it's just like a beautiful, beautiful venue, beautiful view. It's an eco farm as well. And it's just a beautiful place. High up, you can look down over the ocean, and you get to be there. And it's a plant-based food. My chef is coming from Costa Rica. He's an amazing chef. You can read about him on the website, and all of the different things you're going to be learning. Sakim healing, I haven't even experienced it yet, but the person coming is going to not only teach us what it is, but we each get to experience it. And I can, and again, and the quantum breathing, you know, we have someone who does quantum breathing, and the different kinds of guided meditations. I feel like I'm forgetting something really important, but you can go to the website and just look at it. Transformations with Becky. You will be transformed. You cannot go home an unchanged person from this retreat. That is also a guarantee that I can promise. You will be changed. You experience your own healing. Your gifts will come out. They will abound. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it because I've seen it. I've seen it and I've experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, that takes place the last week of April. Oh, I have some gifts for anybody who sees this. Your beautiful face in front there. Say, yes, I was on that. And I learned about your retreat because of Paola. You will receive from me a full energy healing session if you end up registering for the retreat. And that is $150 value. But also on top of that, I will gift you the ancestral healing session. So you will receive, that's a $300 value. That will be yours to say thank you for stepping out, for taking the chance to, because it's not just a vacation, although, I mean, come on, it's Maui. And there's going to be lots of time to just chill, write in your journal, visit with other people and get to know other people and what they do in the world of energy. Do you have to be in energy healing? Nope. You don't have to be an energy healer. If you want to come and partake of any of that, you're welcome to. Come and be there, just receive healing and be opened up to this world. But anyway, register. You can have your healing sessions together or separate, the two. You can do it before, during, or after the retreat. And during the retreat would be kind of special too. But I would be available for you for that time, for anybody who wants to do that. And if you simply want sessions, I do private sessions, and I have package pricing. A regular session is $150, but for those who would like to sign up, you know, through this interview that we're doing right here, I have a sweet little gift. It's called BioZen, and it's a Class A medical device that you put on any of your electronic devices, on your phones, you know, primarily because we're doing this all the time, or we're doing this, you know, that sort of thing. And it cuts down the EMTs to a much, much safer place for you. And that is actually a $50 value that I will give you for free. I'll mail it to you. And so
awesome.
Anyway, my gifts to you, come and experience it. If you feel like this retreat is for you, welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for all of that, Becky. And what I can say is I haven't experienced the retreat yet. And the session that I experienced with you in itself was really worth it. So now having this huge exposure to an experience like that can be totally life-changing and transformational, and like, why not give it a chance? Like, why not? And like you said, it's not just vacation, which is great. And like, if you can really do some amazing work and gift yourself something that can ripple out into other areas of your life. So it's not just buying one thing or an item, it's something that you can take with you and learn so much. Plus the relationships, plus the connections, and plus getting to know you and all of that. So amazing. We're going to include all the links of where they can find you, your website, all those details. We're going to include them with this interview, so that if you're called to reach out to book a session, if you're curious about it, if you want to go ahead for the retreat, go ahead and give yourself that chance. And so thank you, Becky. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your gifts, for what you're creating in the world, for creating this space for people to come in and do this beautiful work. And so thank you for all of that.
Oh, well, thank you for helping me do my job, and that is to get the word out to people that what is available to them as far as healing. And yes, I want to reiterate, it's not a regular retreat. There's no other retreat like this, and you will be transformed. Thank you for this time to help me share with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. My pleasure. So any last words, any final words you want to share with the ladies watching the interview?
Yes. So if you feel strongly that this is for you, because this is what happened to me for my first retreat, I had to be there. Energy, universe knew I had to be there. Take the first step. Give me a call. All right. You're thinking, I don't know how in the world I'm going to do this. I have kids. I have this. I have that. If you're meant to be there, it's going to happen. And I will, if you call, I will share you my story about how I got to my first retreat.
Yeah.
And it'll happen if you know that you're supposed to be there, and you're going to feel it very strongly, all from your gut to your heart, all of it. And it'll happen. Things will happen to help you be there. And that is my last word. So much love to you. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Becky. So we're going to close now. Ladies, again, thank you for showing up for yourself. Thank you for being you. Thank you for taking the time to learn how to love yourself, how to take yourself to the next level, how to show up in your best version. So until next time, reach out to Becky and give yourself the gift of love. Give yourself the gift of taking care of you. So sending you so much love. Until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.